I've got my friend AD on today. This is someone who went through the D1 tryout process, ran legitimate times, and has some notable accolades, such as qualifying for Nike Indoor Nationals, running 10.7 in the 100-meter dash, and being a class of 2025 alumni from Harlan High School. And another thing, he experienced a lot of things that athletes don't talk about. One of those things were going to the tryout and running 6.73 and still getting cut from the team. He still has a bright future ahead of him, pursuing a biomedical degree at UTA as a freshman. This conversation isn't about despair. This is about urgency and preparing for collegiate athletics and the inside behind what goes on, but specifically running. The goal is to provide clarity and open your eyes. Welcome to the Awesome Talks podcast. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing
It's
great.
good to be here.
Can you tell people about your running background and what the sport meant to you growing up?
Yeah, of course, of course. So, man, I started track really around seventh grade. It was my first sport. My first sport was really basketball and soccer, but in middle school they try to spread out all the sports. And so,
Yeah.
after basketball, there's like a gap between like soccer because soccer doesn't start till the end of the year, and
Yeah.
I didn't really know about track, so I wasn't gonna do it. But my friend was like, "Yo, bro, you were pretty fast, so might as well try it." And ever since I started it, man, I loved it, man. And then obviously COVID happened, so I wasn't able to run really seventh grade and eighth grade. But all in high school, I was varsity since freshman year. Went to state junior, sophomore year. Um, ran some pretty good times. Got in at Harlan, we ran the 4x1 city record. We ran 40.05, something like that. Um, and so that was a really big accomplishment. And then uh, the sport just was really just a great sport. I loved it. It just was my like get away from the world, you know.
Yeah.
I overall just loved the exposed experience, man.
Nice, nice. Okay. Going to college, what did you expect the tryout slash walk on process to look like compared to what it actually was?
Um, I don't know, man. So in my head, whenever I really thought of walk on, I really just thought it was they kind of had like tryouts for all the walk-ons, and then they just would just like pick from the best bunch, and then they would have like maybe a better tryout. But really, for what it was for me was at first I reached out after my senior year because senior year I didn't really run the times like I didn't run sub 11 until dang near like the end of the season, so I wasn't able to get any like significant D1 offers. And so when I decided to come to UT Arlington, I decided to reach out to the coaches and ask if it's possible for me to be able to walk on. And the coaches were very nice. They kind of explained the process to me slowly though. I wouldn't say they were like getting back to me as fast as they could, but they definitely were trying to get back to me. Um, and for me, basically, what the trial process was, he said that it was going to be like a 30-day um tryout process in the beginning of the semester. Um, and I was just gonna work out with the team and show what I got basically. But because of the new NIL rules and how they have to have like a significant amount of roster spots, I wasn't able to do the 30-day trial because their team was technically already full. But later in the year, when I reached out again, he reached back. Oh, sorry, he reached back out and said that they were having like an inner team track meet, and he
Hmm.
invited me to come and work out. And so that was this is basically my trial, and I was the only walk on there at the time.
Yeah.
And so they just had it was just a 60-meter dash. I ran it. I ran 6.73. I got last in my heat in the
That's-
race though. I mean,
So,
it's hard, bro. It's hard. I was only training by myself, but I'll take the time. 6.73 hand time is really like 6.9. We could
yeah.
say 7 flat, 6.9. Um, and they were all congratulating me. They said that was a good time. They said they'll hear back from me later, but ultimately I never got anything back. So uh, I guess like I said, I got cut, but it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, man, at least you tried. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Not trying guarantees failure.
exactly.
So, how did you process that mentally and emotionally, like, after that?
Well, it was kind of a shock for me at first, man, because I thought I ran a really good time. Some
Yeah,
college athletes are running that time
yeah,
right
I
now
agree.
in these their first outdoor season or indoor meets. But I just had to slowly just continue to think about him and just go to God. I had just to give it all to Him and know that if it's not in His will for me, then it's all good, man. I can't do nothing about it. And so I just continue to think about that, and then ultimately be where I am now, where I'm content with what happened, man. It's all right.
Yeah. So, do you think most high school athletes understand that about college? Like the teams are limited to roster spots, scholarships are different. Um, Class years, like seniors from another year, can come back and they will pick them.
hmm
Do you think they're misunderstanding that, or do you think it's out of their control?
Um, I would say it's a little bit of both. I think some of these things, not everyone's obviously gonna know. They're just gonna know like the face value things. But then as they get over here, they'll understand and learn that, it's not all as it seems. Where yeah, they're gonna pick somebody that a 5-year student over, a walk-on and things like that sort. But it's not against them. It's just how it works right now, man.
Okay, okay. A lot of younger athletes, they will belittle their accomplishments and not realize that they've made it this far. Um, what would you say to them about getting denied or having a blue spirit? You know, what would you say?
Man, I would say, it's okay. You got to take the little wins and the losses, man. The little wins, man, they're gonna carry you a long way. And if you take a loss, man, it's not a bad thing. You just gotta regroup and just come back stronger, man.
Right, right, right. Now, I think I saw on your Instagram that you're Nigerian. Growing up in a
Yeah.
Nigerian household, does that have any challenges or any advantages? Because people do say, growing up in African households, athletics are pretty technical, touchy.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Yeah, no, both my dad played soccer.
Uh,
My mom ran track as well. She did hurdles. So yeah, they definitely really enjoyed sports, but it wasn't like you must do these sports and like like you're gonna be training 24/7. Nah, they were chill. They were definitely chill for sure.
okay, okay, okay. And about your surgery and physical adversity. Tell them about things like that. You went through if I'm not mistaken, herniated disc, and um, you had to get surgery for that.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, what was it? Yeah, it was actually this past senior year. I was running, and I would always have like this tight back pain, and pain would be going through my legs. Essentially. So at first I thought I had sciatica, which is just like just something with your nerve. But apparently when I went to the doctors, it was actually a herniated and bulging disc, which means like the little fluids in between
The
the
joint.
bones in the bones are essentially like popping, like not popping, but like shooting out, and that could cause irritation and disturbance. So eventually, yeah, I did have to get surgery and do rehab. But ultimately, I was able to get better. And ultimately by August, I was able to start training by myself again. So I was definitely grateful for that.
Right, right. And I do think that's something that athletes do deal with a lot, injuries, especially when you're trying a lot. Um, some athletes, they started late, they're 11th grade, so they're putting in more work and they're doing more intense workouts. And I would tell them, prioritize your body and make sure that you can have consistent workouts. So you don't try to get better in one workout. What I mean
Yeah.
by that is let it build over time and have progressive overload do its thing. Do you have anything to say on that?
No, yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's just when coming back from an injury, whether it's a big injury or a small injury, don't go out there and be like, let me just go run a 100-meter time trial real quick.
Yeah,
Nah, you got to ease into it, man. Do some do some stuff in your flats. Don't immediately go put on the spikes,
yeah.
warm up, make sure you're stretching properly. Don't go into all these heavy, broken 400s. Don't go in all these crazy workouts. Take it slow because eventually you'll get to where you need to be, man.
Okay, okay. And your identity beyond running. One idea I think about a lot is this: don't let your passions define you. Define your passion. How did injury and stepping away from running change how you see yourself?
Um, it changed me just a little bit. Like I said, track was really important to me, but it wasn't one of my, main passions. Beside from that, I'd say I'm really smart. I play instruments. I play the piano and the drums.
Mm.
I volunteer a lot. So I had a lot of things going for me. Um, so the fact that I had to step away from track, if anything, it could be a good thing, man, because now I have more time to focus on the other things that I also really enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Biomedical degree. That's what you're pursuing.
Yeah.
No,
Yes, sir.
that's arguably better. No,
Yeah, yeah.
so the meaning, faith, in reroutes. Before we wrap up, I want to touch upon something important. I truly believe God is the best planner, and when something doesn't go your way, it doesn't always mean you weren't good enough. Sometimes it means you were being rerouted. Some of the greatest people at certain skills didn't even know they were great at them because they weren't allowed to stay on their original path. A
Hmm.
powerful example is Alexander Fleming. He wasn't trying to change the world. He made what looked like a mistake in his work He made it look like a mistake in his work, but that was actually a failure. And that led to the discovery of penicillin, which saved hundreds of millions of lives and is used in medicine. So sometimes rejection isn't punishment, it's protection. Looking back now, do you see getting cut and injured as setbacks or as redirections that shaped who you are today?
Yeah, I definitely see it as a redirection. Not every closed door is just a no from God. He just wants to lead you into something that he has that's it's going to be bigger and better than what you could ever expect. So any loss or any closed door that you see that you're like, dang man, I wish I could just go through this door, just push it open myself. Now you just got to take your time and realize it's all up to God, and whatever God has for our life is going to be better and bigger than whatever I could imagine for myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, to close things out, I got my signature question that I ask every guest on every podcast, but you're the first guest, so you're going to start off this tradition. You
All
get to
right, bet.
choose A or B, or you can pick both questions.
All right, all right.
All right, pick one, A or B or both.
I'm gonna choose. I'll choose. Should I do both, man? I'll do both.
All
What's
right.
up?
Okay. What is your favorite childhood meal, and what is one piece of advice you'd give to the audience that goes beyond running and applies to life in general?
All right, for sure. So, my favorite childhood meal should probably just be jollof rice, plantain, and chicken. That's being Nigerian, that's really what you got. So, definitely that for sure. And
I,
some and some life advice would be, man, just take things one day at a time. There's a lot going on in the world right now.
yeah,
I know a lot of people have a lot of things going on, and I really just want to emphasize just taking things slow, taking things one day at a time. Because if you keep looking at a bigger picture, it's just gonna keep overwhelming you and distracting you from what's going on today. So if you just look at today by what it is, it'll help you a long way.
yeah, I agree. I agree. And for B, if you could create your own ice cream flavor, what would it be and why?
Hmm. Shoot, I don't know, man. I like cookies and cream for sure, and that's already pretty good. I don't know what else I could add. Maybe like, nah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You know what I was thinking when I was making up this question? I
Yeah.
was thinking gingerbread as like the base with
Mm-hmm.
vanilla and white chocolate and maybe some coconut
Mm.
flakes. That'll be
Okay,
good.
okay. All right,
In
wait, I
bet-
thought maybe like cookies and cream and like marshmallows in there too. Like some
mm,
marshmallows would be in there too. That
yeah,
might be
yeah.
good.
But the texture of the marshmallow, it would like solidify, be like icy,
Yeah.
or topping it on top.
Or
Okay, yeah,
topping, yeah, toppings,
yeah, yeah,
toppings. We
yeah.
got
Okay,
toppings. Yeah,
okay, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um. Uh. That is pretty much it. Um. I'll do the intro and I'll do the other stuff after. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Let me just do my outro real quick. Um. All right. Thank you, AD. It's been a real pleasure having you on.
Yes, sir.
Um.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Hope you have a great rest of your semester at UTA,
Yes,
and
sir. You as well.
hopefully you can become that doctor or whatever in that biomedical. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. See you. I
Yes,
appreciate it.
sir.